Yo, what's up, everybody? Hold on. Yo, what's up, everybody? I gotta show a little more. It's just still monotone, but it's a little more energy for you guys. I know it's been a while, but we are back 1 a.m. podcast. I'm Rashad Milligan, joined by my co-host Mo Knows and Mr. Jelani Easley. Fellas, how you guys doing tonight?
Beautiful.
Doing
Everything
well.
is lovely.
Lovely. That's a new adjective. That's a new adjective to describe the day. But that's good to hear. Black men smiling, black men happy, black men doing well.
That boy Joy.
Black Joy. Man, that was an era, man. The whole, like, I think was Chance the first person to use that?
That was like the.
I ain't gonna
baby.
give him that much credit.
I don't think he invented the phrase "Black Boy Joy."
He was the first one I saw
like
use it because it was like the Black Girl Magic was like obviously the huge thing, and then like Chance posted like his BET fit, and it was like some overalls, and he was smiling, and he was like Black Boy Joy. That's the first time I ever saw it.
Let's be real, probably a black woman somewhere.
Somebody would have verified blue check.
Right.
That was like the remember the Snapchat filter with the flower crown? That was that era.
Facts.
Man, shout out to Issa Rae, by the way, speaking of black women and black women with black chicks and black women who write and come up with creative ideas for turning a web series. I know like people say it all the time, but going from a web series to a $9 million deal, to a 9-figure deal with HBO and different networks and television companies and stuff like that. That's insane. Like, that's insane. And reading her book a couple years ago and stuff, like how broke she was, and it's crazy. American dream, bro. American dream for real. JC talks about America. Go ahead.
Have you seen the new episode of Insecure?
I've never seen Insecure.
Oh, you never watched Insecure?
Bugged out.
But I know all about the characters and stuff because like people talk about it all the time, and I know who's who. But I've never seen the episode of it.
Have you seen it, Jelani?
See, the thing is, I'm like 3 seasons behind. I watched the last season that I watched from Insecure was the one where she got nutted in her eye. That was the one. Yeah, that was like the last season I really remember watching. But
I remember they talked about that on Twitter a lot. Like it was like a big. That's what I'm saying. Like Lil Nas X tweeted that too. Of like on Twitter, you don't need to watch TV shows. Like they'll let you know the entire cast and plot just by following the timeline.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
I still haven't seen Squid Game.
What?
No, I haven't.
So
I gotta watch it.
Yeah, Squid Game, y'all definitely need to check that out. But as far as Insecure, just since y'all haven't seen it, I ain't gonna go too in depth about it. I saw the first episode. I ain't gonna lie, they were kind of all over the place. I'm like, it's like, I'm gonna watch the final season, but I don't know, man. I feel like they just kind of, I don't really even know what was the inspiration behind the beginning of this season. But yeah, like that's just kind of all I gotta say. It felt like it was kind of all over the place. Like me and my girl was watching, and then at one point I just literally just said like, "What's going on?" And then my girl was like, "Yeah, that's what I was thinking." So, but I will say Black Girl Magic. It's her friends. They all alumni of Stanford. So that was kind of a plot twist, especially like with seeing their characters over the years. I would not have expected that's where their friendship was formed, like at Stanford. Especially like the character that Issa plays. I would not have expected she went to Stanford.
Well, it's like true story.
Yeah, so I was like, that was a cool. It felt like a twist, though. I ain't gonna lie, just because of the character that Issa plays is a very like irresponsible, like not very irresponsible, but she's mildly irresponsible. She be doing a lot of questionable stuff. Like
I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like I've never seen the show, but reading the book, that's exactly how the book was. Like she was talking about like her money management, like habits and stuff. I'm like, yo, how did this woman become successful? Like, because it's like it's terrible, bro. Like her money management was terrible. And she was like, yeah, when I have So I was like, how do you even find yourself in a position to have that amount of like at that age? You know what I'm saying? And I don't know, like she made a way to make it work, man. That's just the thing. Her gift really saved her because like
Okay.
yeah.
Well,
But
that
yeah, she went to Stanford, but like her money management is like I was like, dude, like you're a grown person. You know what I'm saying? Like you weren't like 17 just opening up your first account. Like you were 23, 20, like you know what I'm saying? A Stanford graduate of that. But yeah, go
right.
ahead, Mo.
No, that pretty much it. And but with you saying that about the book, that kind of that makes more sense about her character because I kind of figured it was like based off her life, but I felt like it was kind of an exaggerated version, of course. But I didn't know, like I've never read her book, so but after hearing that, that'll make more sense. Like I feel like like the character fit more into her life, but
Yeah,
like,
for
cause
sure.
she kind of gave me the same vibes as old girl from She Gotta Have It. Like just how like old girl from She Gotta Have It was just out here, like just irresponsible, just with like you got rent due, but it's like, oh, I know I got rent due, and I'm like 3 months behind, but like you could just take this painting. It's like what, but it was like little stupid stuff like that. But yeah, that was all I have for Insecure, but we can move on.
But college is filled with irresponsible people, though. Like, if you go to Stanford campus, it's kids getting drunk. Like, I don't know if you could really like characterize some responsibility based on what college they go to. There's probably people that went to like DeVry that's super responsible.
Right.
But no, I know y'all
if
seen
you're at DeVry and you have like a child and a job, and that's the reason why you're at DeVry is because you have to provide for your child and you just don't have the time to go or the money to afford a regular university. That makes sense.
Yeah, but I know y'all seen the AKAs when it smoked because the character was wearing like I guess
I'm
she was
not touching
on the
that
show.
at all.
What is it that serious? Are they like the troops now that we just can't?
Cause it's like, bro, it's always been like that. Like, bro, like y'all know how it is, man. Like I went to Georgia State. Georgia State, for you guys who don't know from the outside of Atlanta, it's not a HBCU, but it is the university in America that graduates the most Black students, HBCU or PWI in the nation. So it's a lot of Black people there, in the heart of downtown Atlanta. And so we have the Divine Line over there. We don't have the Kappas on campus. They were off campus for a couple years because they got caught beating some folks. But yeah, man, they take that stuff. Like a couple of my closest friends pledged, and like I remember I went to this Rory event, right? And Rory, his whole indigo child thing that he was doing at that time, it was like the sign of it was like the pinkies were up. I almost did it in the camera. Oh, excuse me, I almost relived that. So I showed it to my friend. I was like, yo, I was like, Rory is here and all these cool people around. That's where I met what's his name? Justice, bro. Mo Justice from who be on Joe Budden podcast and Rory and Mo. That's why I met him and stuff. But anyways, yeah. He manages Black, Summer Walker, and all those kind of like alt Black people. So yeah, anyways, I showed the picture. I'm like, yo, look at this. Like, it was so cool. We met Rory. I was like, y'all do not look like some AK. I was like, oh my gosh. It's just a picture, bro. Like, it was just a pose. Like, he just wanted to do something cool that was different. That didn't look like a gang sign. Apparently, D9s are gangs. So,
no, I mean,
that at all.
I get it though, because, Peter, one of my closest friends, he was the president of the Alphas and everything. And it's like, for them, they see it as, they went through so much, it's like, it wasn't just given to them, And it's like, I get it, it's like, you're dealing with all that BS, your big brother sitting here, like, making you get up in the middle of the night, like having to, pick him up from the bar.
I don't think you're supposed to say all these details, Mo.
I mean, I didn't say this was what was happening in certain experiences that I saw. Right.
They are not going to kick in this man's door and tackle him and talking about the process. Like,
man, this man Jelani want all the smoke. He's been disrespectful the whole segment, man.
No, this is my thing. Like, I respect the organizations. I think it's dope as far as like building connections and the tools that you can get from it. Like, I'm not clowning Greek life, like, but it's just like let's stop acting like these are like Civil War troops or something like that. Like you risked your life for this. Like you voluntarily signed up for this. I understand it was a process where you might have got spanked or paddled or whatever went through that. But like all like as far as going so far to attack a woman playing a TV character because her character like it's not that serious, man. Come on
Did
now.
you guys see the comment? It was a comment on Twitter. It was like, I personally was upset how in Bruce Almighty God didn't play God.
You know, but I think the whole situation, I don't think it's completely just because she played an AKA. I think it was because it was Amanda Seales as well. Like, you know, she warrants a lot of hate within herself. So it's like, you said why? I mean, she's just very controversial and just a lot of things she be saying. It's like her whole, she talks a lot about
This
how
man Ken
everybody.
Reddish going in. I ain't gonna lie. I'm sorry for cutting you off. The man Ken Reddish is going in. He's having a run this season. Continue about
Okay.
Amanda Seales.
But yeah, like I feel with her, it's just been a lot of people don't really like her because she's kind of made herself seem as if she's the victim in a lot of situations. And, you know, especially with the whole situation as far as Insecure, where, you know, they kicked her out. Well, somebody kicked her out of the party. And then, you know, she went on me on the Breakfast Club talking about how nobody defended her, you know, made this big scene about it. But then like some of the other cast members, like they like subtweeted her and like made comments like saying, I mean, if you're a nasty person, you can't expect people to want you around, you know? And it's just like ever since I first seen her, that was kind of her demeanor of like, man, like, you know, men always say I'm just too aggressive. Men just say that I'm the problem because of this, that, and the other. They always say about, you know, that they can't handle a woman like me, pretty much. And it's like, maybe you just be doing too much. You know, like I think that's a thing that
Hold woman accountable 2021.
yeah, you know, all right.
That's one way to take that.
Yeah, you know, but you know, I feel like, you know, a big downfall that people have, you know, it's like when they be having like, I just keep it real, you know, and it's like, and this is something that I've learned over my life. And this is something that I try to express to people who always talk about they try to keep it real. It's like there's a difference between being real and just being disrespectful or being,
Big
you know, or
facts.
like, yeah, you know, it's like sometimes what you're saying, yeah, that's really on your mind, but it doesn't need to be said. You know, and that's the issue with a lot of people. You know, they feel like, well, that's how I feel. And it's like, all right, that's cool. Keep them feelings to yourself sometimes, you know? Like it don't always need to be expressed because sometimes it's going to come off a way that it doesn't need to come off. Or it's going to come off the way you want it to, but you're going to be like, this is my truth. And it's like, man, like, it's not necessary. So, and I feel like that's just always been her issue. It's like over and over again, she talks about how she, you know, I wouldn't say these are her exact words, but like in so many words, she says she lives in her truth. And people are like, well, your truth kind of sucks, you know? But yeah, I feel like that was kind of because she already gets a lot of hate in general. And then like a lot of people are already thinking she was gonna be off the show. Then you come back and you an AKA. It's like just because you light skin, that probably also what they was thinking. You know, it's like you may hurt AK, you know, but hey.
Hey man, shout out to the AKAs, shout out to the cast of Insecure, shout out to the cast of Stump the Yard.
Shout out to the Deltas.
Everybody. The Kappas, you know, it's all about Black love.
I ain't seen not one fraternity member in Stump the Yard. It was just some random dudes out there just you're getting.
They were shook. They knew the fraternity member was gonna run up on them. They didn't want that smoke.
They made up all the fraternities and everything. Yeah, they didn't play that. So it's like that was I get what people were a little bit. I get it. But it's like Jelani said, if you ever been on a college campus and you see how serious they take it and how much they defend it, it's pretty irritating. But at the same token, you know, I do get their thing with it because it's like if you're you know, if you have this black production, an all black writing room, all black director and acting cast and everything like that, and you couldn't find, you know what I'm saying, 13 people to play some AKAs who are actually AKAs, you know what I'm saying? Like I understand the frustration.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, everybody hits the cap show every now and then, you know. So
Oh, you gotta chill.
Hey, man, it's not, the shoulder work just got to be fluid, you know.
I gotta chill. But yeah, the Hawks are currently coming back. They were down by like 11 the whole night. It's a 5-point game now with 4 minutes left. But speaking of basketball, just really quick, you know, going back to black women and stuff with the Oakland Raiders. Oakland Raiders. Oh my gosh, I got that all the way wrong. But the WNBA is looking to expand to Oakland, led in an effort by Elena Beard over there and stuff like that. The former LA Spark. Elena Beard was one of the last people that Kobe tweeted before he passed away. And, you know, she just said that she was following the lead of other black women like Renee Montgomery, really started this entire movement of ex-players getting into front office roles and stuff like that. And she's going into it now. So I think that's just a really dope thing. Damian Lillard's mom was on the call as well earlier this morning, which is at the time of recording. This is Thursday night, October 28th. So whenever this comes out, that's just a little reference point. But yeah, I think expansion obviously is something that's been needed severely. And the W, only 12 teams, only 144 players. You've heard the conversation and the debates a billion times. It's something that's going to help grow the game. A lot of young, talented players don't get a chance to get roster spots and stuff like that because there just aren't enough. So I'm definitely excited to see some expansion in Oakland. And I know a lot of people are talking about more teams in the South. You know, the SEC is the most popular conference for women's basketball on the college basketball level. And in SEC country, there's only one team, the Atlanta Dream. So to bring back some of those other teams, maybe get a team in South Carolina or North Carolina or Tennessee, where all the SEC schools are having success with bringing in women's basketball attendance and stuff like that, I think it'll be great for the league as well. So just wanted to shout that out. And fellas, we can move on to the next sports topic if there's anything else in sports. I guess just the
I'm gonna
NBA
say
in
I
general.
agree.
Oh, go
I
ahead.
agree
Go
with
ahead,
that,
man.
bro. Like, I think Tennessee would be a great destination for a women's basketball team, like WNBA team, just because, as you said, with like, there's already attraction there of the balls, you know. So those players getting drafted to a Tennessee team, they're going to bring even more attraction, you know.
Knoxville is like 3 hours away from Atlanta. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
South Carolina is only a couple hours from Atlanta, but it's still a couple hours. Like if it's a Wednesday night game, you can't drive straight from work 2 hours down to Atlanta for a game. Like you're not going to make it. So,
Right.
you know, yeah, I think it would be nice to have some kind of in-market teams for them. And, you know, if you're talking about, oh, you know, it's going to take away from Atlanta, it's not. I feel like if it increases, it could even increase the engagement in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Because you have
Yeah.
more teams and more competition nearby and divisional rivalries and people road fans coming in potentially. So you know it's a lot of stuff like that, and then you know just increases the talk around the W. I think they did a great job with W25 this year and stuff like that. And speaking of W25, man, y'all want to talk about the 75 list, man?
I do want to talk about the 75 list. I do. I definitely have
I
some thoughts.
didn't even know Damian Lillard made it, bro, until like I saw someone just talking about Damian Lillard shouldn't have made the list. It's like I know Damian, like I don't know if I just read right past it when I read the list initially, but it's like Dame Dollar made 75 play all time. Like it's just crazy to me. So I guess like what was just your initial reaction about Dame or anybody else you were surprised who made the list?
Um, I was I definitely was surprised that Dame made it. I don't want to discredit him, but I don't think he's. I probably honestly, if you like, I might have put Paul George over Dame Lillard all time. Like it's certain players that I might have put over Dame from his era. My main issue with the list is Dwight Howard not being on there is insane. Like That's really like just like, I don't know. I understand he might have been like an annoying dude or whatever, but to the point where I was going to deny like this man wasn't the best center in basketball for 7, 8, 9 years. You know what I mean? That's kind of crazy to me. That's like a whole generation right there to be the best player at one position.
Stop LeBron.
Yeah, peak LeBron, like 09, like peak physical LeBron at least. You know what I'm saying? So that's definitely crazy to me. I'm trying to think what other issues that I really had. It wasn't like anybody crazy that was like.
Paul Gasol should have made it.
Yeah, Powell probably should have made it. You could argue that maybe Manu or Tony Parker should have made it.
How do y'all feel about the old dudes making the list? Like Kendrick Perkins, he went on ESPN and he was like, "This how some of the players on the list used to dribble." How do y'all feel about some of the dudes from like the 50s making the list?
All right, but here's what you gotta understand though. Like, obviously, if you drop Kyrie off in 1950, he would kill everybody. Like, he would be like looking amazing. But you gotta compare like how good were guys next to the other guys in that era. Like, if you were the best, okay, let's say it was an era where if you scored like 15 points per game, that was high. If you were scoring that much consistently for that era, you was the best player at that time for what basketball was at that time. You know what I mean? The game kept evolving. So I'm not mad at them being on there.
I agree with that. Go ahead, Mo.
And just some of they make some of these decisions based off of your impact on the game. And some of these players probably were very impactful to, pushing forward the game of basketball at that time, So, some of them, I would have to really look them up and do further research. But for the most part, I just feel like I get it, or I'm going to say I get it, but I'm not mad at it because I can't debate it because I haven't seen their highlights. I haven't really did an in-depth search into their stats and stuff. And, so that's why I'm kind of like, those older people, if they wanted to put them on there, because the people who made the list, saw a lot of these players play. So it's like one of the guys went on to Bill Simmons' podcast, and he was talking about how, he remembers, seeing, the old Boston teams in the 50s, and, he was, the beat writer for Boston at the time, stuff like that. It's like you're going to have a little bit more – you're going to have a better knowledge and a better understanding of how these players were at the time because you got to actually see them,
Hey, I listened to that Bill Simmons podcast. That writer, he also was one of the ones that didn't vote for Dwight Howard. And he said,
and he covered the Celtics?
Yeah, Bob Ryan, yeah.
Oh, it's Bob Ryan?
Yeah, he didn't vote for Dwight Howard. He said because he felt like Dwight Howard never fully developed the offensive game. And even Bill Simmons was like, well, you're not going to give him no credit for beating LeBron. And he was like, no, he said himself. Yeah, he said himself, I might be being irrational right now, but he's like, I don't feel like I need to defend not voting for Dwight Howard. And I was like, bro, yes, you do, because you sound stupid right now. And I know you're a credible writer or whatever, but bro, this was an all-time great player. I remember how great Dwight Howard was.
Right. Okay, I must have missed that part. Yeah, I didn't hear him say that.
No, I heard him. Yeah, I listened to that same episode.
Shout out Bob Ryan, though. I saw him once at a conference, and he was one person that I didn't, approach or whatever when I saw him, because I was just kind of I don't know. I think I was a bit intimidated. You know what I'm saying? I don't get intimidated too much, but I think I was a bit intimidated with him. And one time I was I got caught looking at him, and then he just put his hands behind his back and then leaned and looked at me like this. And I was just I looked away real quick. So shout out to Bob Ryan, man. But dog, so Anthony Davis shouldn't have made the list. Damian Lillard shouldn't have made the list. Oof. Who else shouldn't have made the list?
Why you just how you just say that so casually? That
because if Paul Gasol and Dwight Howard didn't make the list, Anthony Davis should not be on that list.
Yeah, Anthony Davis.
Yeah, and then Manu Ginobili and Tony Parker didn't make it over Damian Lillard. Dame isn't even hands down a top 5 player in the game today.
No, that's true.
It's debatable whether he's top 5 or not.
You could make if you really wanted to stretch it, the same way Shaq made it after 4 years on the first one. you could stretch it out, and if you really wanted to put Jokic on there, and like if you really wanted to stretch it, like
a lot of people were saying like Jokic was a snub. Oh,
you could say Jokic over Dame at least.
Bruh, John Collins be dunking, bro. Like, what in the world? John Collins just had another one off the glass putback. I apologize, Shalani. But
Are you cool?
But yeah, it's like Kyrie, like Nick Wright said Kyrie was, and then even Iguodala was like, y'all right. Kyrie not top 75, he top 20. Bro, what is like? I get it. He could dribble a basketball, but when have you seen dude get in a defensive stance? And isn't that the thing y'all killed Trae Young about for 3? He doesn't play defense, though. Trae was putting up like 50, 25 assists. It's like he doesn't play defense, though. But with Kyrie Irving, it's like you guys forget it because his dribbling's more fancy.
I mean, it's not that more fancy. Like, honestly, Kyrie Irving is the best dribbler in NBA history.
Yes.
In my personal opinion.
I can agree with that.
So I think that kind of gives him I understand that defensively he lacks, a lot, but it's just offensively, and it's not only just his dribbling. It's like his finishing, I say like as of lately it hasn't been, what it could be, because I just think, I don't know, I feel like he should be checked out mentally during some of these games, but it's just the stuff that he does, like it's different, man. Like, so that's why I understand him making it.
Hey, did y'all see it was like a I don't know if it's a conspiracy theory. So if you Google Nets NBA 75, it's a video that pops up. The conspiracy theory was that Kyrie got removed because of the vaccine situation or whatever. But if you Google Nets NBA 75, a video will pop up, and then you click on the video. It's a link to the NBA website, and then it'll pop up and be like an error.
I see it.
Yeah.
That's wow.
Apparently he was supposed to be on the list.
Ain't no way, bro.
Tweeted that. Yeah.
That's wild.
So it kind of invalidates the whole list to me. Like, there's a lot of politics going on.
Yeah, I mean, it's politics in any of these type of things. Just with the Hall of Fame, all these things they're done by writers who have their own individual bias. So it's all taken with a grain of salt, because it's a bunch of people who this was their opinion of the best. If we did a NBA 75 and had players do it, this list would be completely different. So
players be having some terrible opinions, so it's time to talk about that too.
Yeah. If they did it correctly, my fault, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you good. What you finna say?
No, so if they did it correctly, because they what they did, they imported the top 50 from the original list. If they really wanted to just be honest with it, like, they would have just understood that the game evolves and that some of those players might not have should have made it to the top 75. Like, I understand that you don't want to completely wipe away the older era, because you got to recognize that. But some of them, like I heard Bomani talking about Bill Walton, like he probably shouldn't have been. He made both. He made the 50 and the 75. Like, that's somebody that when you look at the stats, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I always assumed Bill Walton was a great, because like that's what they told me when I was a kid.
It's like it's certain players that exactly like you just get told and you gotta assume. But if we being real, like, I don't know, it's a slippery slope when you comparing guys from different eras.
And you heard how the way that Bill Simmons talked about Bill Walton on that podcast, bro, they'll talk about that man like he was supposed to be the one. It was like he was the greatest. Like, not only do you run your offense through him, you run your defense through him. He's the greatest passing big man of all time.
Yeah, they tried to say Jokic was the greatest passer of all time. Like, when they were like, who are snubs? Someone was like, Jokic, the greatest passer of all time? I was like, is he even the greatest passer in the NBA right now?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm about to say who
LeBron.
Other than I'm about to say LeBron.
Trae Young.
No.
I don't know. It's just arguable. It's arguable. I don't know if I say he's better than Jokic. I don't know. They equal, if anything.
Trae Young is fine. Like,
Jokic is a generation.
Trae Young can sling the rock, bro. And he's a better passer than anything else. Passing's the best thing he does. He passes better than he shoots. He passes better than he finishes with that floater. The passing opens up his offensive game, and that's what makes him a top 5, top 10 offensive player in the league.
I mean, I ain't gonna lie, I don't know. So if we're gonna start talking about that, like, I mean, LaMelo up there.
He is up there.
Yeah,
LaMelo's up there too.
But I mean, with that being said, I didn't see LaMelo within this season and a couple games do some better passes than Trae. Like some of them full court passes, the underhands and stuff, it's like
over the head.
Yeah, like I think Trae is a really good passer, but I just can't give him the best passer in the NBA right now.
Bill Walton's highest scoring season was 18.9 points.
How many assists he had?
5 assists, 13.2 rebounds, 2.5 blocks, 1 steal. That's a pretty good season.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. I can't lie. But only 18 points. Like he didn't even average 20.
18 and 13 is still pretty crazy.
It's a good season if that was like your third best season.
Did they have the 3-point line?
Nah.
The reason people were saying because he didn't really play that many games. I know he won a championship. He was like the best player on that team, but yeah, a lot of injuries.
But look though, Mo. Hold on, Mo. You got to pull this up when you say that, right? 71-72, Milwaukee Bucks. Kareem, 34.8 points per game. Kareem, the second greatest player to ever grace the court. Second greatest player to ever touch a basketball.
Him and Lou Alcindor.
Lou Alcindor is the second greatest player of all time.
Right.
34.8 points. What? How many rebounds? Guess how many rebounds he averaged that season?
16.
16.6.
Yeah.
4 points. They didn't even take blocks back then, man. He probably would have averaged 10 blocks.
Yeah. Them boys were going down back then.
Kareem was the first player that hooped in chucks that played like 20 years.
Big facts. No type of foot support. His back had to be hurting at the end of his career.
Tearing the ACLs and busting all their knee cartilage.
My gosh, man. Kareem, y'all, you different, bro. These kids don't understand, man. I got Jordan, Kareem. They talking about Larry Bird, the great. Bro, Larry Bird is not the greatest player of all time.
Who said that?
Yeah.
I know Jordan said he was like the best player he's ever played against. I don't care what Jordan said. Jordan's still the GOAT.
Right.
It's Jordan and Bron, and then if you want to say Kareem, I'm with that. Bron is number 2 though.
Bron not better than Kareem, bro.
Bron is I'm not putting anybody besides.
Bron not better than Kareem, bro.
I don't know.
Bron not better than Kobe.
Oh, I don't know. It's a tough one. I don't know. It's a tough one.
Man. All right. I think this is a good time to pivot into this upcoming season. I mean, well, not upcoming, but this current season. So, like, is LeBron going to the well, first off, are they making the playoffs?
Yes, playoffs for sure.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so what seed they gonna be?
About 8.
They'll be fine. These are like glorified preseason games right now. You know, obviously it's a tough thing because you want to let it gel and take time, but these aren't younger players. You know what I mean? So it's not like, for example, like Kyle Kuzma out there in Washington. Like if it doesn't go well this year, it's like all right, we'll just wait till next year and see if we got something or something like that. But with Russell Westbrook, you know, Melo, like these guys are all in their 30s. So you would like to see by obviously Christmas time or around at the most by like the All-Star break them to start to really, you know, start to go in a positive direction. But I just think they got too much talent to not figure it out to a certain extent. It's just a matter of making the pieces match.
But so look, the thing is, it's like, I'm like, Brad, none of these players are the players that they used to be, even like 2 years ago. Like, you know, like them bringing back Rondo. Oh man, he was our missing piece. Rondo's now 2 years older. You know, it's like a
That
lot of
boy
these
is
players.
trash. The Hawks
Yeah.
solidified that. That was the end of his career when he went to Atlanta. He went to the
Yeah.
Clippers. They like, we got playoff Rondo. I said, boy, tell me you ain't watched the Hawks without telling me you ain't watched the Hawks. He come there, he played good. Well, the first 2 games, oh, he got Rondo. He come in the playoffs, don't do nothing. Oh, Rondo ain't doing nothing. Joker, you ain't watched the Hawks. And then he goes to the Lakers, and they still holding their breath that he gonna turn back to like you said, and he does the same thing that he's done for the past. He's trash now. Rondo is done.
No, I agree, bro. And it's like with Russ, bro. I just, everybody's like, well, he's a walking triple double. I'm like, yes, but like we've seen for how many seasons now, that doesn't equate to a championship team. Like it doesn't. It's like time after time we've seen him like get into these positions, and it's like he, I wouldn't say he doesn't perform, but slick, he don't. He's not a good percentage shot taker. His defense is suspect. He turns the ball over a lot. He tries to do too much. It's like it just I just don't see it. I really don't see it with this team for real. Like they need.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say they need a trade or something. Like, but I don't know who you finna trade on that team.
Did you see that clip that's circulating around from All-Star selections a couple of years ago? This man LeBron, bro, Team LeBron, he was like, I like to propose a trade. I like to trade Ben Simmons. I like to trade Russell Westbrook for Ben Simmons. And that people been recirculating that clip now, like this week, the past couple of weeks. How would y'all feel about a Ben Simmons, like in all seriousness, a Ben Simmons Russell Westbrook trade? Russ will probably be heated. He wanted to go back to the Lakers his whole career.
I just don't see Russ on a championship team. So, like, if I was Philly, I wouldn't make that trade. Because it's like a diminished, like, what made Russ so good was his dominating play. It was like him really taking over the game. But I don't see him taking over the game being a benefit for a championship team. It's like, the Wizards, it was cool. It's like, all right, we fighting for this eighth seed, like, or they got to what? Yeah, they got to the eighth seed, right?
Yeah, AFC playing.
Yeah, so it's like, all right, this is cool for, you to try and take us to this point. But it's like, he hasn't been on a team yet that I thought was finna win a championship, other than when he played with Durant. With Durant and Harden, but I don't know. I just don't see it with Russ anymore, bro. Like, I think this wasn't a trade to make. They should have went and got Buddy Hield, which would have allowed them to have more cap room as well. So they would have had the cap room. They would have had more advantage to be able to go sign somebody to like complement this team. But it's just a bunch of older players that's like past their prime. It's like.
But what if though you get the package that you got for Westbrook for Simmons? Would you have done that?
Yeah. Because Simmons is a defender. And it's like it would have been better. As I said with Russ, his play is him dominating the game. That what makes Russ Russ. But it's like Ben doesn't need to dominate the game. He's going to add to the game in other aspects, And that's why I see with Russ, I don't see how this is going to work. I'm like realistically, can you tell me what's their starting 5 championship time? Like, let's say they make the finals. Who's their starting 5?
Russ, Malik Monk, LeBron, AD. Do you put AD at the 5? Dwight. But Dwight's not starting. Who they had? They had DeAndre Jordan starting?
Yeah, and DeAndre Jordan. And I think they still got Marc Gasol too.
Marc Gasol still on the team?
Oh, no, he's in Spain. Is he in Spain?
I was about to say he need to retire with Powell.
Yeah, but but that's what I'm saying. It's like, Like, come on now. Dwight's not a championship center. It's like in the last 2 playoffs, like regardless of the team he was on, he played a very minimal role. DeAndre Jordan.
Mark isn't in the league right now.
Yeah. And then you got, what's his name? DeAndre Jordan. DeAndre Jordan, like, for the Nets, like, he played, what, like 2 playoff games? He played the first series, I think.
Yo, and he was their best friend. He was the reason why Harden wanted to go there, why KD and Kyrie, they said, we want DJ on the team. They want him that bad. And he still didn't play. Like, you know how bad you got to be to bring in the largest big 3 in the league because everybody rocks with you that much and you still don't play? Like, just off the fact of power and relationships, you should be able to play in the game.
Exactly, bro. That, everybody's putting it as like, man, we can't ever count out LeBron. But I'm like, that's the other thing. LeBron's not going to be healthy a full season, And then even if he gets to the playoffs, it's like, are we really expect for him to be able to play, at least 16 consecutive high-level games?
Well, the thing is, though, okay, with that, this is what I expected the Lakers to be when they got AD. Because the year before they missed the playoffs and then they got AD, I'm like, bro, like if you think this team is gonna win the championship a year after they didn't make the playoffs with just AD, then you're wrong. And then they won the championship. So that's like literally the only thing why I'm not 100% giving up on them, but I still feel like it's not gonna do anything.
Oh, what you finna say, bro?
But that was with like a 3-month break between the bubble, though. So like everybody got their rest up and heal up.
Exactly. That's what I'm about to say. It's like the bubble, it's a real championship, but it's just like, man, it was a lot of crazy circumstances that were going on. Just in the fact of like, you got how the Blazers had to play all them games back to back and then go straight into the series with them. You got the Nuggets. Jamal Murray got hurt. Kyrie didn't play. Durant was out. Like, it was just, it's a lot of different factors that played into the bubble, and that's why you see that the Heat with that team.
Well, I was about to ask. Because that's the thing that's going on right now with the internet. They're asking about who's Bubble Boy now. Bubble Boy is what they called Tyler Hero last year because he didn't do anything last year. This year, he came back, said, I should be with Luka and Trey. And he's playing pretty well. Not Luka and Trey, but he's playing pretty well. So, like, I guess who's Bubble Boy now?
Who's some candidates?
TJ Warren. I don't know if it's anybody that's really
TJ Warren.
I mean, yeah. TJ Warren definitely. I think he was Bubble Boy from the beginning. Like, let's be real.
Jimmy Butler.
Nah, Jimmy Butler is a high level player.
Let me see what this man's averaging right now. Okay, he averaging 23. Okay.
Yeah.
Jimmy Butler, you valid.
Nah, like the Heat are looking like they might be the favorites to come out the East for real. Cause like Philly, they look good. They look okay. The Nets are struggling. Boston just, I think they need to trade either Tatum or Brown. Like, I think at this point, one of them needs to be the leader. And that's the problem. It's like they're not both trying to be the leader. They're both just kind of like, I don't know, like they'll concede to each other at times, but honestly, it should be Tatum. And so with that being said, I would trade Brown because Brown, and I think that's like Tatum he becomes passive at times because Brown feels like, nah, I'm really him. Like, and so he'll start
really Atlanta blood in him.
Yeah, for real. So that's why I feel like one of them kind of got to go at this point, but I would trade Brown and then let Tatum truly become that star that he needs to be because he's clearly the most talented person. But, Jaylen Brown is extremely talented as well. But I just feel like Tatum feels like he gets minimized at times playing with him.
Supposed to be gassing Tatum. Go ahead, Jelani.
I'm not trading either one of them. they'd have to be like 35 and watch it. Like you can't, you know what I mean? You got two, like the whole selling point when like Kawhi and PG first got together was you got like the two best defensive wings in the league, you know, at that time. And I think you got the, not necessarily defensively, but just as far as just overall play, like Jaylen Brown gets better as a scorer every year. Tatum is still what? He's like 23, 24. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like 23. I don't know. I gotta give at least like 3 more years at this point before they gotta fail in the playoffs.
23.
Yeah, not until at least 25. Because Jaylen Brown is like 25.
Yeah, if we're 26, he's like 25.
Yeah, he's like 25. So yeah, I gotta give it a couple more seasons. Just because I think Jason Tatum hasn't even, like 5 years from now, he's probably be like he might be like a top 3 player 5 years from now.
Facts.
Yeah, they already try to put Tatum up there, and I'd be like, okay, bro, okay. He did have 50 against Brooklyn last year in the playoffs. You know, you can't minimize that. He's tough.
Yeah, at least like top 15 right now.
Yeah, yeah. I can agree with that. Top 15. But some folks they've been trying to force like top 8, top 7 on Tatum, and then top 5 on Luka for the past 2 years. And those are 2 guys I'm like, okay, guys, like, let's chillax a little bit.
Who is your top 10 right now?
I got.
It don't even got to be in no order. If you want to put them over, you can.
I want to put it in order just to get it right. Giannis, Steph, Embiid, LeBron, Kawhi.
When healthy.
PG, AD, Luka, Dame. Oh, no. Dame, Luka, Tatum. I'll put Trey in ahead of Tatum. Trey top 10.
I'll probably go with Giannis. Yeah, we can go Steph second.
I'm tripping. I didn't say Jokic. Take Kawhi out.
I was gonna say I didn't. Yeah, I was thinking about that.
No. I literally just slipped my mind. It wasn't anything personal.
Yeah, I'll probably go Embiid 3. Damn, this is tougher than I thought. And I just heard you this, so they don't feel this. Yeah, I'm going B3. AD. No, I want to go 84. When AD is at his peak and he's playing.
Bro, I didn't even say Kevin Durant.
Damn, I'm bugging right now. Yeah, I'm not like KD going. Yeah, KD 4. No, KD
Wait,
3,
okay.
actually.
Go back from one.
Giannis 1. I'm gonna still have Steph 2. KD 3. Embiid 4. I'm gonna go Jokic 5.
All right, so LeBron not top 5.
Here's my thing. LeBron 3 years ago, this Lakers team he's injured right now. So, but it's like it's part of it. Is he injured or is he just resting right now?
They saying technically it's like ankle injury.
He wasn't having like this wasn't happening a few years ago. Where you got to start accounting like these injuries into play. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it's on long term. I can see it on your face. You're like, bro, no, I'm not listening to it right now.
No, I mean, no, I agree.
When healthy, I'm bugging. I'll put him over Jokic. I'll put him 4.
No, I agree with you. Like, he may be outside of the top 5. I mean, that just kind of goes into my Lakers. Like, what I was saying is like, we don't even consider LeBron a top 5 player anymore. How we expect them to pull this together?
But if he ain't top 5, I'm probably put him at. I'll put him, let's say 6.
Okay.
Jokic at 5. Respect the MVP.
Yeah, I'm respecting MVP. He's 5. I'll put Bron 6. Kawhi when healthy 7. Who was I going to say? 88. Let's go PG 9. Luka 10.
No,
okay, I'll definitely put Luka
9, PG 10.
Oh, dang.
Oh, but I'm bugging. It's a lot of great players right now, man. It's hard.
It
Like
is.
it's a
And
lot
like,
of like
and
future
none of
Hall of
us have
Famers
even
players.
been like, oh, I'm thinking about Devin Booker. Like, you're like, nah.
Nah.
He's still top 15. Though. We probably like
Yeah, book top 15.
yeah. Him and Tatum like right around the same place.
Where y'all put Anthony Edwards?
Oh, my boy, top 30.
He gonna be like top 25 by the end of this year if he keep it
My
up.
boy, top 30.
Yeah, all right. Then where y'all put John Morant?
Top 25, top 25, top 25.
No, he's top 20.
He making his way to the top 15, bro.
Here it is. All right, so look, bro. Look, okay, we did top 10. Same players mostly. You got Trey, top 15. You got Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal, top 15.
Yeah.
Book, top 15. Chris Paul, top 15. And then Jimmy Butler.
Look, yeah, I can agree with that.
Okay, so now you got another 5. Cat, top 20. Now it's getting testy. Yeah, you could say John Morant top 20.
Where y'all put Draymond?
75. NBA 75.
Right.
Yeah, Draymond. But yeah, speaking of, like, did you guys understand Klay Thompson being so upset he wasn't on the list?
Nah, I was
like
yeah, I ain't gonna cap. I was like, wow, like I didn't expect this energy. Like
Klay don't say anything. So the fact that he was this mad, bro, I was like, bro, calm down, bro. Go ahead, Jelani. Jelani, that the Warriors fan checking in.
Yeah, he's not top 75 all time. Now, 25 years from now, when they're making the 100 list, if he's not on there, then yeah, that's, you know what I mean? It'd be disrespectful, but he's not top 75 all time. I mean, I get why he might feel like that to a certain extent, though, because he's probably looking at it from the way we was talking about earlier, where, like, if you drop Klay Thompson in 1975, like, he's looking crazy. So if you want to look at it from there, like, as far as top 75 most talented players ever, you might have a case. You could probably argue that he wanted to. As far as just him being able to score 37 points in the quarter, like, how many players in NBA history can you say could do that? You know, right. If you told him, like, if the game plan was going in, like, if you say, yo, we purposely will give the ball to you every possession, score 37 points this quarter, it's maybe like 10 to 15 to 20 guys that could do that. So
going 13 from 3 in a game.
Yeah, like yeah, exactly.
Nah, so but you know, I feel with Klay, it's just, you know, it takes away just the fact that all he does, like, you know, also he's a two-way player. He's a great defender as well. But I think people kind of take away from it that he don't, like, you know, some people look at it as like an advantage that he doesn't put the ball on the ground, but just like some people look at it as like a weakness. It's like, you know, just the fact that he don't really dribble, you know? It's like, but you know, that's what makes him so great. But you know, some people think about it as like, if he wasn't in that offense, how well would he be performing? You know? Cause I kind of agree at times. Like, he's a great player, but it's just, if he didn't have it so spread out where he didn't have to dribble, you know? If he was like dropped on the middle of Detroit, how many points would he average? You know, like where they on him every day. It's like, you know, he's sitting there trying to push the ball up the court, all that. It's like, I ain't never seen Klay push the ball up the court.
So, but at the same time, you can't really penalize a guy for being drafted into like the right system. You know what I mean? It's just right. You got lucky.
I think Kevin Huerter is going to be really good. Like Kevin, he reminds me of Klay. Not as good as Klay, obviously, but like he could do the same things that Klay. Like he moves like Klay, where he can pump fake, couple dribbles, get into the lane, and hit the floater or hit the leaner in the mid range. Like, yeah, Kevin, and then he has like Klay's athleticism too, where he can get up sometimes and dunk on someone, and play defense as well. Not as well as Klay. He's nowhere as near the defender that Klay Thompson is, but I don't know. That's just another thing I wanted to say right there.
Kevin Huerter top 10.
Kevin Huerter top 1,000.
Cam Reddish top 25?
Heck now, if Hawks fans be waiting to claim that man is Jesus Christ, I'd be like, bro, y'all gotta chill. That man is like, they be gassing Cam Reddish, dog. And it's been like that since draft night. They've been gassing Cam Reddish. He's pretty good though, but you talk about, going all the way back to the first conversation of even the Lakers of needing to change and stuff. Like, I don't know, man. I think the Hawks, like they look sluggish of the past couple games or whatever. These were the games that they really needed to steal before they had a tough stretch in November and stuff. And they, who did they lose to? They lost to Cleveland. They shouldn't have lost that game, slipped that lead up. They almost lost to New Orleans. They almost lost to this team. And then they lost again tonight to Washington. So they're just looking sluggish. And it's kind of like they have so many weapons. Like, it doesn't make sense for them to be struggling offensively as often as they do and as long as spurts as they do. So I think might be time for the Hawks to make a trade.
I mean, Cam just raising his trade value right now. They're trying to get rid of him during the trade. During the draft.
Yeah, I know. I remember that. But Cam is going to be an all-star, though. So it's like, do you really want to get rid of, potentially – I wouldn't say Tracy McGrady, but someone kind of like Tracy McGrady is once he leaves. I wouldn't say Tracy McGrady out of simple respect that Tracy McGrady is one of the greatest scorers in NBA history. But I think he's going to have that type of impact like when McGrady first went to Orlando, leaving Toronto out of those shadows of, Vince Carter and stuff. I think that's what Cam Reddish is going to be on his next team.
Right. You think it's like a guarantee that they trade him, though?
No. I mean, but I think if the Hawks keep playing as sluggish as they do right now, they got to shake something up because they have too much. Like, they're probably the deepest team in the East. Like, I don't know about the league, but definitely in the East, they're the deepest team from 1 to 15. Like, their worst player is Solomon Hill. Go ahead, Mo.
I was just going to say, I feel like those offensive struggles from what I've seen at times is kind of part of it, is acquired, just with our best player. Trey at times is like, he's a very spotty scorer. He scores in spurts, but then when he's off, it's off,
He's always been like that though. Like he's always been like that.
But that's why when you was like he top 10, I'm like a top 10 player should be able to, I don't know. I guess
Luka do the same thing.
Huh?
Luka and Trey play like the exact same way. Luka's just taller and just pudgier.
And can pass a little better.
Oh, you smoking crack.
Bro, he got more assists.
No mean he a better passer, bro. Trey Young, bro. Trey Young get the ball, dribble. Bro, I really think y'all this episode is appreciating Trey Young as a passer episode. Because y'all really underestimating this man's passing ability. This man, Trey Young, go right here, bro. Look, bro. A whole 7-footer, bro. This man 6'1", bro. Shoot. Woo, behind the back. Or the wrap around right into your chest. Right into your chest. He can't even see what's on the other side. You 7 feet. Come on, man.
Okay. Let's look. All right, think about this. If Luka has a less offensively minded team than Trey, but still puts up more assists, what do you accredit that to?
Let me look this up. Because first game, it was Hawks versus the Mavericks. Trey had 14 assists. Luka did not have 14. So let me look this up while you keep saying this.
I'm just talking about career-wise, in the time that we didn't see them play.
Let me look this up. I'm gonna look it up now. I'm going to hold you accountable. Luka Doncic in his career, 7.7. I know Trey averages more than that in his career. Off top. This is the Trey Young appreciation episode. Get your ice trays. The Trey Young ones out right now. Quavo's on the commercial. Ice trade the game. For Trey Young's career, he averages 8.9 assists. This season, Trey averages 9.3 assists. This season, Luka Doncic averaged 8.7 assists.
Okay. All right, I'll give you that.
Trey top 5 in the league in points and assists. in his second season in the league. He averaged 30 and 10. He was an all-star starter. Should have been an all-star last year and all-NBA last year. He wasn't. I don't know why. Politics. He'll probably be both of those things again this year because he has a shoe in a commercial.
I'm telling you, bro. I just don't know, man. Like
Trey different, bro.
Trey's he's different, but he needs somebody that's consistent alongside him.
It need to be Bogey. That's what Bogey was supposed to be, but Bogey ain't that. So it's like, Bogey, what you gonna do? Either you gonna get more consistent, or Cam Reddish gonna take your minutes. You coming off the bench, and then Lou gonna take your minutes. If Lou better than you consistently offensively, and then Reef gonna take your minutes.
Right?
Nah, he ain't gonna take his minutes this year. But yeah, you get the gist.
Nah. Yeah, and I agree with that. I just feel like, man, with Trey, it's just after seeing those playoff series, it was just so many times where I was like, it's just like looking at it, and as you said, like the offense should get stagnant at times, And I feel like I don't feel like it's all on Trey, but it should be feeling like, you're supposed to be the best player. You're supposed to be the one that's like, all right, I can get the bucket for us real quick. But then it's like, I don't really see that with him. It's like when the offense is grooving, that's when he gets buckets, And it's like, but it's never like, I ain't going to say never because I don't watch every game, But I would say just from what I've seen, there'll be a lot of times where it's just kind of like, man, like we need a bucket right now. And it's like, I don't think Trey can get it because he's been off this whole night. But, he'll still end up with like 20 points off of free throws because he does get a lot of free throws,
Not as many this season.
Yeah, which is a given just because of the new rules. But that's why I'm
still
saying.
Averaging 26 and a half. For all you people who say, foul baiter, Trey doesn't play. It looks like James Harden's the foul baiter. The rules, it only changed James Harden's game because he's trash. He reeks now. James Harden is terrible.
You've been ready to talk your talk. You have that in the stash. You want to let them know. No, you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, I was one of those people that I didn't like the foul baiting from James Harden, but I do think, to an extent, what he said about him being like the poster boy for the rule and them kind of like targeting him more than other players, I do think like they being a little bit sensitive with him to an extent. Now, with that being said, I saw I think they played Miami yesterday or the other day. Either Miami or Toronto. Either way, no, it's Miami. They were showing like certain plays where like a defender would have their position already and he would run into him and like try to flail up, and they wasn't calling it. And yeah, on those plays for sure, like you're just not getting those no more. Like they made and I like it. It's making the games look better. Like it was getting real nasty towards last season what certain players was doing.
You saw Pat Bev tried it.
Yeah. But even he had to be like, after they called it, he was like, all right, like, good call. You know what I mean?
Pat Bev, ugly, man. But James Harden in that game, man, 14 points, 7 assists, 7 rebounds. James Harden, you're supposed to be top 75 of all time, man. You the one who said two-time MVP, right? When you scored 40 and you hit the deep shot in overtime in Golden State. I remember the game. I watched TNT. You said two-time MVP. And you didn't win the MVP that year. James Harden, what are you doing?
He still top 75 all time though, but it's just just them little like 11, 12 points you usually get from them, the fluke free throws,
Westbrook made it? He made it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I was just wondering because those are like 2 MVPs in that era of like they had to get one just because of the numbers they were putting up every year. So okay, all right, both of them got
only MVPs that didn't make it from recent years was D Rose and Jokic.
Oh yeah, good choices.
Yeah, unfortunately for D Rose, he would.
Yeah. So salute to D Rose. No offense, like y'all talk about them D9s got them. Yeah, you come for D Rose, his fans. Woo!
Yeah. Speaking of NBA, did y'all see your boy Joakim? Did you see his quote? about they asked him like how did it feel when Derrick Rose tore his ACL. Like I would imagine.
Oh.
He's like I would imagine that was how people felt on 9/11. He said he said I remember the smells, the scenery. Like, hey man, you know he might have wanted to win that championship bad. You know what I mean? 9/11 meant different things to different people. I don't know if I would say it was that serious.
Yeah.
But hey, you know, that's his life.
Yeah, he might have won the championship back.
To the point where it felt like 9/11.
Yo, what was that? 2011? What the Philly series?
2012.
2012?
Yeah.
I won't go win that year. That was the first year after the Heat lost. Ain't nobody was about to beat the Heat.
They were the number 1 seed that year though. Or they were number 2, I think. Or they were the 1 or 2.
Yeah, I remember with they had Boozer and Dang, Luol Deng made the All-Star team that year, so they had like legit 4 All-Stars. And Dang, Joakim, Derrick Rose, and Boozer.
Mm-hmm.
Still, Taj Gibson was pretty young. He looks like how he looks now. Like Taj Gibson has never aged. He's just always looked old.
Was Kirk Hinrich on that team?
He got traded to the Hawks at some point around that era, but I think the Hawks traded him back to Chicago around that time too. I had to look this up. I want to see the 2012 roster because like Chicago fans, they hold on to that year all the time too. They talk about that team in particular. I didn't think they were going to win it, but Mo, you got anything in the meantime while I look up this roster?
Man, NBA stats be funny, bro. They talking about like, man, Bulls starting 3-0, best start since Jordan.
Oh yeah.
Like Hornets starting 3-0, best start since 1974. I'm like, bruh, like I've been just seeing that all week, just all these different teams. I think the Jazz started 3-0. This is like their best start in like franchise history or something like that.
Oh, that's crazy.
I'm like, bruh, give it 10 more games.
I remember the Hawks started 3-0 one year, like with the Joe Johnson years.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like they were hyped. They were like, oh, the Hawks. But
I feel like this happens like every season, you know, it's like
with some team, yeah. Every team in the league it happens where a team starts like 3-0. Happens like in the NFL, I feel like in the NFL is more bipolar with that though.
What you mean?
Like when the Falcons started 5-0 and they missed the playoffs.
Yeah. But still, yeah. Like I think
Washington did that too, didn't they?
I forgot that happened until you brought that up just now. Thank you for telling me.
You're welcome. But like Washington did that too, like in recent years. Like I think it was like last year or 2 years ago, or it was the Vikings. Someone else did that too, where they started like 7-0. And
I remember the Bills did that once.
Yeah.
The Raiders last year, I think they started like 5-1, like something like that, and I think they ended the season like 8-8, missing the playoffs.
Dang. And then the coach had to leave. The emails came out.
Bro, you see, the owner of the Raiders said that he want the rest of the messages to come out.
Oh yeah, what about the rest of the league or something like that? He said.
It's well, I mean, it's really more based on like Washington because it's like it was an internal investigation into Washington. So like the rest of the emails between like all the Washington people, but I think he's like, yeah, I don't want this. Like, yeah, like let's hold everybody accountable. If y'all gonna make me fire my head coach, you know
what tone that is. You know what tone that is. I hate cancel culture. Cancel culture is the worst.
We're gonna speak on that later too.
we got to because we only have 40 minutes left. We only have 40 minutes. So, but anyways, it's C.J. Watson, Brian Scalabrine, D. Rose, Joakim, John Lucas III, Kyle Korver, Mike James, Rip Hamilton, Taj Gibson, Luol Deng, Jimmy Butler, Ronnie Brewer, Carlos Boozer, Amir Asik. That's a squad. Gosh, Lee, all of them at some point of their careers had a run in the league.
Yeah.
I mean, except for Scalabrine, but, you know.
Scalabrine got chips.
Yeah. Scalabrine got chips.
Yeah. Well, you got any NBA thoughts before we transition?
Nah, that's it. That's all my NBA stuff.
I
Like
think
you
we
said,
covered.
Ja Morant hooping. So salute to Ja. What's up, Jelani?
I said I don't think we ain't covered the NFL yet. I'm saying looking at this Packers Cardinals game right now.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
man. I mean, what's really going on in the NFL though? Y'all let me know.
Does it feel like to y'all like the extra game, even though I know it's only one game? Do you feel like it makes it like it kind of felt like an extended preseason almost? Like because I don't know. I usually we get into the point like we 8 weeks in. It's a week 8 game right here. Like, and I don't know if it really feels like the NFL season still hit yet.
It still feels like the season just started.
Right. Yeah. We like about to be halfway through. I don't know, man.
Trouble for my fantasy teams.
You know what it might be though? Like maybe it's because in the NFL it's similar to almost like what's happening with the Braves in baseball right now, where you can have a team that's like kind of mid all year, get high at the end of the year and go on a run. So it kind of devalues the early part of the regular season almost. Like the Steelers was what, like 11-0 last year? Out on the first weekend?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That speaking of the Braves, and salute to Juju. I hope you get well, bro. Real just fan of the internet culture and stuff like that. So shout out to Juju. But man, yeah, Dansby, man. Like how y'all feel, man? Like I know he had the last strikeout in Game 2 loss, but other than that, just like man, I'm proud of that dude, man. Like the game-winning play to clinch the pennant. And he's just playing really well right now. It's a lot of people who wanted him traded throughout the past few years, and for good reason. Like, I mean, he's had a lot of long droughts, but his highs have been as high. He's been as good as advertised. He's won at every level of his life. That's something I always reiterated to people. Even in the minors, in his couple months in the minors, he won there. Just how y'all feel about Dansby and the rest of the Braves, man.
Shout out to him just for the Braves in general. You know what I mean? Just I'm not even like, I don't know. I love the team. I'm a fan. Don't get me wrong. I'm happy we're in a World Series, but I've been an Atlanta sports fan so long, and maybe I think the Super Bowl just traumatized me. I just can't be excited. Like I'm happy about it. I'm enjoying it. I'm watching the games, but I'm not even putting myself in a position to think like that we're going to win or.
I mean, but it's house money. It's when you lose a top 5 player in the game, top 3 player in the game, you make it to the World Series anyway. Like it's house money.
Yeah, but it's no guarantee that you're gonna get back.
But I feel like honestly, from watching the games, I think we're the better team though. Like honestly, I feel like our hitting is like the last game we just had a lot of errors. So I've been feeling confident. Like even like when we was in the Dodgers series, like I try to stay confident. Like in any of our Atlanta sports teams, if
I'm with Jelani, man. I'm with Jelani.
This is why we don't
Mo,
win.
They done it too many times to your heart, Mo. You know how this ends. You know how this ends.
But that's the problem, bro. Like everybody has this energy of like, well, we just waiting for them to lose, It's like, bro, we just gotta stay positive, bro. Like it's all about manifesting it. And like
look at Jelani's face, bro, watching this football game. His face is just like
Aaron Rodgers just threw a touchdown.
Like I don't believe it. There's no way this is happening.
No. I'm definitely into the podcast. I'm paying attention. You trying to make it seem like I was like.
Oh no, I'm talking about the Braves. I'm talking about the Braves.
I'm into the conversation. No, I definitely. It's not even what I was thinking about when he was talking was like, what did y'all? Do y'all remember where y'all was? Like, first of all, where did y'all watch the Super Bowl at when the Falcons lost?
I was at one of my homeboys' house. We had some Zaxby's.
You sound like you're describing like a real traumatic event. Like all right.
It was, bro.
It was for me too. No, but the way your whole mood changed. He said, like, well, yeah.
Bro, I'll never forget, bro. Like I remember I went to I think Publix that day, And it was just like, I'm looking at all the Falcon stuff everywhere. I'm seeing people with Falcons flags on their cars. I ain't never seen so many Falcon flags in my life. Bro, it was just like, I was like, bro, we really about to do this. And then, yeah, man, you know, halftime, it was like, dang, bro. Like, man, the Patriots trash. Like, like, yeah. I just remember like towards the end. But so, like, this is why I keep this attitude. Because the person I was with, he kept saying the whole time, bro, they really not about to do this. Man, they really about to do this, huh? Oh my God, they really about to do this. And I'm just like, bro, like chill, bro. Like we gonna be straight. And yeah, it was just and then also, bro, the ride back home. I've never seen like the streets of Atlanta just so quiet. It was just like it was a very quiet ride. Like I had to hop on the highway and everything, and it was just like the streets felt empty. The energy of the city just like was gone. But yeah, that it hurt, man.
Yeah, I watched it with my dad, and I remember because my dad is from he's from Boston, so he's a Patriots fan, but he's not like no mean dude, so he wasn't like rubbing it in or nothing like that. But I remember watching it with him, and after Robert Alford pick six, that's probably my highlight. Like I don't think I'll ever have a better moment than that as a football fan. That was when I peaked. I was like, yeah, we're winning this. It wasn't like a second thought, and then it just gradually. It was one of the things where I didn't accept that it happened until after it happened. Like, oh, that really just like we really just did that. You know what I mean? And I remember the next day it was like rainy and gloomy in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Sorry to bring that up.
Nah, I turned down every watch party invitation, and I usually watch the Super Bowl with my uncles or something like that. But like I turned down everybody, my dad and stepdad, uncles, everybody. I'm like, I gotta watch this by myself because I knew I just couldn't take it around other people. Like I needed to focus, So I veer at the student paper that day, go home. Go to the dorm, whatever. I'm standing up the whole game, bro. I'm playing defense. Get up, get up, get up. Every snap, Dwight Freeney getting them. He turning into 06 Dwight Freeney. He giving it his all.
Yeah,
Grady Jarrett turning into John Abraham in his prime. I'm like, yo, it's crazy, man. Man, I'm just like smacking like my bathroom door. Robert Alford pick six. I like opened up my closet, started punching the closet door. Let's go. Then he threw up the A2. I ain't seen nobody do this in years. I started throwing up the A in my dorm room, and then it showed look. Y'all know the clip Arthur Blank in the press box doing the cabbage patch. I'm like, man. Like, man, this is crazy. So I'm just like, get up, keep your foot on their neck, keep your foot on the gas. And then there was another touchdown, tighten up. I'm yelling, I'm coaching the whole night. And then like about fourth quarter, at the end, like we already knew what was going on. Like them last couple drives, everybody in Atlanta already knew what was going on. And then it's just like, dang, they really did it in the Super Bowl. Because I gotta talk about with my boys all the time. Like Atlanta fans, they weren't shocked because we literally see this all the time. Like they did it the last time, 2012.
Like
remember in the playoffs? Remember Seattle? They did it and they won the game against Seattle, but they blew the lead. Then the next week they blew the lead against San Francisco, Colin Kaepernick, and then they held on to Roddy White at the end of the game, didn't call it, and they lost that game. You know what I'm saying? So that was 2012. So like Falcons, like we were used to it. We just didn't know it was gonna happen in the Super Bowl, especially that year. That year, everything was magical. It was like Matt Ryan, record-setting year. Turbo, Taylor Gabriel, amazing year. Like everything was just clicking. And then like the city, like they brought out Michael Vick, and they said until you do right by Michael Vick, the Twitter meme. So yeah, it's just sad, man. I just remember tweeting, "This is the saddest moment of my life, bro. I ain't even gonna hold you." And I know that sounds like extremely privileged and like first worldly, and like RIP my grandma and stuff, but like, yeah, that was tragic, man, for sure.
It's like I think for me, I'm a UGA fan, and like I think like the most heartbreak, because that was a lot of heartbreak, but it was just like, as you said, it's just kind of like you used to it, But when UGA lost to Alabama in I think 2012, on that last play, bro.
Yeah.
Bruh, that one hurt, bro. And I think after that, I just like that was a realization like I can't be as invested in this anymore, like in sports in general. 'Cause I remember like right afterwards, like one of my homegirls called me, and I remember like she called me, and then she would talk about something. And I was just like, I was so zoned out, and I was like, I'm not even gonna lie, I don't want to talk right now. Like this is Georgia just lost. It was I'm gonna just call you back later. And but I think that kind of prepped me for the Falcons, man, because
the same spot on the field in the same stadium. Where else does that happen, bro? That doesn't happen in any of the other 49 states, bro. 2012, those were the most traumatic 2-3 months for a sports fan ever.
Facts.
Yeah, thankfully I'm not a UGA fan, so I didn't experience it. I thought you was about to say the Alabama loss. Not the Alabama loss, the one.
You're talking about the one in the new stadium, the Tua. When
they
first got the sack, and it's like, it's second and long. And then this quarterback who ain't never played college football in his life drops back second and 1,006, and he throws a perfect wide open bomb. How did he end up wide open?
Yeah. But as I said, I think at that point I was just so desensitized. I was just kind of like, that was one of those like, wow. Because, also like being a UGA fan, it's like, bro, we had the miracle at Jordan-Hare where Buddy on that, it was 4th down and I think it was like 25. And then, I remember watching that game. Like, that was crazy.
Tennessee?
Huh?
The Tennessee game?
What happened in the Tennessee game?
Let me look it up.
Cause I was talking about when Auburn, dude from Auburn had like they tipped the ball and then that was crazy. I was literally just shocked at that one, bro. Like I just sat there like I was in a room full of Auburn fans, and I just sat there like this, like, and then I just started laughing. Cause I was just like, man, this is UGA. This is Georgia sports,
Oh yeah, this was bad.
Oh, but we was ranked 25. I think I was checked out at that point.
I'm a Warriors fan, so I experienced 3-1 and 28-3 as a Falcons fan within like 7 months of each other. Like that was.
You know what random loss hurt me? Speaking of the Warriors, that Hawks-Warriors game when Iguodala hit the shot at the buzzer.
Like,
the regular season game.
It was literally a New Year's Day game, regular season. Like there was like that game held nothing to like playoff standings or anything. Yeah, that just hurt. Like because he sunk that thing and it was wide open and you could see it as soon as he touched it. It was like, man, this is online, perfect timing of the catch and shoot and everything. Yeah, that one hurt. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, yo, Jelani, was you there? I think you was there that game when we saw Andre Drummond, right?
I don't think so. Wait, was we smoke like during the game or after the game?
Before the game.
Maybe. Yeah, you gotta refresh my memory. Maybe.
I feel like it was you. It was okay because he was in line. Well, he was like handing out like he was signing autographs. We went over by the Detroit side, and we over there waiting for him to sign an autograph. And so literally at the person right before me, he stopped because there was a guy behind him that said, Al Horford's better. And then he turned around, he was like, man, for real? I'm sitting here trying to do something nice for y'all. You know what? I'm done. And then so literally at the person right before me, he was like, I'm done signing autographs. So I'm like kind of mad. I'm like, bro, like, don't let him ruin everybody else's time, bro. So I'm like, come on, bro, like, sign the autograph. And he was like, and he just started walking away. So I'm like, for real, bro? It is so, and then I just yelled out. I was like, man, why you leak her nudes?
Oh my God. I did not know that happened. I definitely wasn't there when this happened.
Yeah, bro. Like he turned around and just like looked at me, and then like I just kind of like I was like, damn, all right, let me go ahead and go back to my seat.
He ain't say nothing back. He just looked at you.
Like, yeah, he just stopped. He was walking to the terminal, bro. He just stopped and it just turned around and looked. And then I was looking still, but then I was like, bro, they about to kick me out this stadium. Let me get up out of here. Like, yeah.
Yeah, that's you definitely like do like a 4th and 25 Hail Mary right there with that.
No, fact. This is like at the height of it, you know, like I think this was like
the when it was happening to all the celebrities.
Yeah, you know, she over here like, yeah, only one person had my pictures.
The fappening, that's what they called it. I was like, what did they call it? They had a nickname for it.
The fappening.
Yeah, and she was in it. Yeah, and she was in it. And this was like right, like Mo said, like this was around the time like everything was happening. So like when he said, I was like, bro, I can't believe he really just said that, bro. Like I was probably, that's definitely the wildest moment that Mo has ever had at the Hawks game with us.
Yeah.
And then one time with Harden, you know, the entire time I was just yelling like, when are you gonna apologize to the base god? When are you gonna apologize to the base god? And like he just ignored it, and I really respected his dedication to ignoring it and stuff like that. But felt pretty bad about it after the fact.
Man, I remember Blake Griffin. I remember like when we were in the section and we was like yelling something to him, and then like he's one of the only people that really like you know, he an emotional person, low key. So like, yeah, he really like, I can't remember what we were saying. We were saying something, and he like really was like looking up at the section, like he was kind of hurt. Like he was like, all right, bet. Thought he was about to go crazy. He probably had like 13 points that night.
Yeah, I remember Blake and then Steph. We had Steph one night, but yeah, we going down too much memory lane again. But
this is what happens. This is what makes the podcast special.
I mean, but I'd rather it be us going down memory lane of the NBA players that people know than Zico.
Than our personal high school friends.
Like you know what I'm saying? Like folks know who Blake Griffin is. No one knows like outside of these confines knows who Zico is.
Listen, we can't always have every episode can't be the greatest. You know what I mean? Like we put our best foot forward. You know what I mean? Not to say that was a whack episode, but that was like
that was a great. It turned into a great episode.
No, it turned into. But I'm just saying
because we discovered old boys music.
Oh yeah, we did.
Yeah. I forgot about that. Was legendary. But yeah, Jelani, let's get to this Chappelle topic. We got 20 minutes.
Oh yeah, you know. So we talked. I think the Chappelle special, was it out the last time we talked?
It was out, but we hadn't. I haven't seen it, and I think you said you had just saw it.
Yeah. It's been like a lot of backlash from the special. My thing, I definitely, this is probably the first time, like Chappelle's my favorite stand-up of all time, but this is probably the first time where I had to look at the material and be like, bro, like, this has been like, I want to say like 4 out of like the last 5 specials where transgender people have been like a major topic in the special. And it's like, regardless of how, you know, whether you support the LGBTQ movement or not, it's just, from a content standpoint, it's like, bro, it's kind of getting old at this point. Like, I don't really want to see you complain about these people every single special. I just don't feel like as Black people, like they're holding us back, or like the transgender community is like that much of an obstacle. Like we live in a city or within the metropolitan area of a city full of transgender people. We probably got more transgender people here than like, besides San Francisco, probably anywhere else in the country. You know what I mean? They've never really bothered me or held me back from anything. So I just don't understand why that's such like a hill for him to die on, to consistently be talking about these people.
But I feel it's just like, it's not necessarily that they're holding like us as Black people back, but I do feel like, you know, and this is one thing I have talks with my girl about this all the time. It's just like, I feel like, you know, it's hard for people to, because they want to, I don't know, they make it seem like their plight is the biggest plight in the world. And I think that's what gets certain Black people, like, cause just even during the special, Chappelle, you know, talks about the young lady who mom first, you know, walked up to him and whatever. He saw her at the bar, like a couple weeks later in Ohio, and he talked about how she was with these two black guys, and then she was like, my people have been suffering for decades, and he was like, hey, do y'all want to tell her something? Like, and I think that's kind of, like, and I get what you're saying. It's like, it is surprising that, he continued to go this hard about it. But I like how he summed it up at the end, just of like, in the sense of, it's like, hey, we're not trying to minimize you, so don't try to minimize us. And I feel like that's the issue in America, because, and I can see him feeling more of a personal effect to it, just in the sense of like, you're seeing your friends being attacked by these communities because of, like, as we've all talked about, like, seeing Kevin Hart's, multiple times apologize, but it's like, but they still attacked him, like, even with this special, like, I feel like they're attacking Dave Chappelle, and it's like, bro, like, y'all didn't even watch it, It's just like, I feel like sometimes they're always looking to be offended, and that's kind of the issue, It's like, when you're looking to be offended, it's like, that just leaves a bad taste in people's mouths, just in the sense of like, man, like, I would support y'all, but it's like, man, y'all just make a deal out of it. I remember watching this one thing. I can't remember what show it was. It was a show on HBO. And there was this guy, he was like transgender, and like this woman walked up to him and was just like, oh my gosh, like, like, I love what you're doing, it's like, and you pretty much gave him props. It's like, I love that you're being yourself. And then he was like, yo, like, I'm not no toy. I'm not no, puppet. Or like, it's like, you're looking at me as if I'm not a human. It's like I'm giving you joy because I'm just being myself. And it's just like, yo, they're trying to give you a compliment. You offended right now? And I feel like that's kind of the issue at times. It's like, and as I said, just with making, don't put your plight over other people's. And I feel like that's what they do at times, And I think that's what he was saying in so many words. It's like, yo, we all struggling, It's like people, like, especially as Black people, we're struggling as well. But you make it seem like just because you're part of the LGBT community, you're going through the worst shit in the world, And it's like, I'm not saying anything that you're doing should be minimized or anything that you're going through is minimized. But at the same time, let's, have the open discussion of like, yo, like, we're all kind of going through it. And that's why I feel like you see places like San Francisco. You go to San Francisco, it's like, because I feel like they realize the hypocrisy. Like last year really opened their eyes of to a lot of people, like white, LGBT, everybody. It's just like, to the hypocrisy of like, you want to be supported. You want, in your times of crisis, you want to be supported. But us as Black people are constantly going through these situations and you're not supporting us, Or once something happens, and that's why, like with San Francisco, if you go out there, you're going to see a billion, every house has Black Lives Matter. And not one Black person there. It's like maybe like 5, But there's a reason there's a whole movie called The Last Black Person in San Francisco. It's like, it's not prevalent. So that's what I feel like he was trying to get at during the thing. It's just like, yo, like, don't minimize us. We won't minimize you. Like, let's work together to find that common understanding. But it's like, they feel, and that's why, like, a lot of these people, they haven't even seen the special. And they're like, we're protesting because, like, I don't know. Like, I really don't know what they be feeling, what they be going through. But it just feels like, yeah, they put their plight over others, which isn't right, in my opinion.
I always feel 50-50 with those things, because it's like, Mo brought up a very good point. And it's like, oh, here it goes. Here it goes. Are you ready? Are you guys ready? Let's stay on alert here. But with all right, I'm just about to say it. with the Bill Cosby situation, with the Deshaun Watson situation, like, yes, what they did was inexcusable, et cetera, et cetera. You've heard all the names in the book they've been called, but it's like how hard people come down on black people and black men in particular in those situations versus how they will go against someone else, like Kathy Griffin and who did the blackface? They used to be on Jimmy. They used to be engaged to Jimmy Kimmel. Sarah, what's her name?
Silverman.
Sarah Silverman. Yeah, thank you, Sarah Silverman. And I'm pretty sure Chelsea Handler's done something offensive in the past. I don't know. I'm just kind of guessing, but she just has that type of personality where I'm sure she's done something offensive in the past. But yeah, the fact that those three comedians, they've all gone through something. Well, I'll say two: Kathy Lee and Silverman. I know for sure. I don't know about Chelsea Handler. I was just assuming, but I'm sure all of them have gone through some type of public outcry where they did something offensive, right? But it's like once it happened, kind of things went on. Kathy Griffin kept being Kathy Griffin. Sarah Silverman kept being Sarah Silverman. Of course, every now and again in the comment sections of Twitter, Twitter posts and stuff, you'll see someone who, just posts a picture of her in blackface, but that's kind of it. Doesn't really slow down her career. But why, when it's Kevin Hart, when it's Dave Chappelle, when it's, to a much more serious extent, Bill Cosby, Deshaun Watson, is, lock them up and throw away the key and let them never see the day of light again. So I think that's just something, I don't know, it's like a 50-50 because it's like, yeah, you shouldn't have done this and you shouldn't have said this. But at the same token, let's look at the reaction as well. Why is Chappelle getting such harsh reaction? Why Netflix, like someone said it, what did Netflix workers do in support of Monique? Netflix workers walked out of the office to protest until the Chappelle special got taken down off of Netflix. What did they do for Monique? When Monique was asking for, so go ahead.
And also I feel like just with him telling the story about the woman out in, California, I believe it was San Francisco. But the woman out there that was transgender that ended up killing herself after being attacked, and I felt like that brought a lot of light because it's just like, yo, y'all want, it's just like you're constantly on the attack for when you feel that you're being mistreated. But it's just like, think about how you're treating others, It's just like, you literally led, it's like the community led somebody to kill themselves. We can't say for sure, but it's just like 9 times out of 10. And it's just like, that's just like, I think that goes into just like, y'all are just so ready to like, I don't know, to be just attack at times, And I feel like that's where like it kind of comes from. As I said, like I feel like his speech about them and the specials leading up to this was a little unnecessary, But I feel like how he brought it all together at the end to be like, hey, it's like, I'm not against y'all. Like, he even said it. He was like, if y'all listen, my thing wasn't ever against the trans community, the LGBT community. It was against white people. It was like against the privilege that white people have in these situations, And I'm like, especially like with the LGBT community, a lot of people that be going the hardest is a lot of the white people in there. And it's like, bruh, like, yeah, like, I don't know. I'll kind of leave it at that. But, so that's why I feel like I really enjoyed the special, and I felt like I felt up into like the ending. It did feel like, bruh, like, all right, it's like, you really going to keep just pounding on to this. But then to like put it all in, because he was just like, I'm done making jokes until I know we're all laughing together. And it's just saying like, we need to all be together. And I feel like it's a division. And they're making that division. It's like we're the LGBT community, it's like, y'all don't understand what we have to go through. And it's like, what? Like, it's like, fam, like, so Like I get it though, man. Like it's tough out here. You know, there's a lot of trans people getting killed. You know, especially like, and I'll say, you know, in the Black community, especially, you know, it's like there's a lot of Black men killing trans people just because they're not comfortable with it. You know, I literally told my girl this yesterday. We was at the gas station, or it was the other day, and was at the gas station, and then the guy who rang me up, I had got some water, and I saw like, you know, he had like green and white nails, you know, like painted nails. And then like, you know, I got back in the car and I was telling my girl, I was like, man, I'm glad I live in Atlanta. Just for the simple fact that I'm able, like this stuff doesn't make me uncomfortable. But I could see, because I'm still looking at it like you really got your nails done, huh? You know, which, you know, there's nothing wrong with it, but it's just like, I could, you know, a lot of Black men of other culture, of other areas, they're not used to that. So to them, it's very off-putting, and it makes you feel uncomfortable, you know, because, you know, and it's like, for me, like we live in Atlanta, so it's like none of this stuff makes me uncomfortable, you know, because it's like I was at work and a person, a they them, walked in and they had a BBL. They had a BBL with boobs and everything. And it's like, and I was like, I remember looking and I was like, bruh, what? You know, but it's like, but you know, it is what it is. We have to get used to it. But yeah, I don't know, man. You know, it's all crazy, bro. It's all crazy.
The pronouns you use is what got me right there when you said it.
It's respectful.
Yeah, it's respectful. It's respectful. One thing I've also wanted to ask, we got 5 minutes. I want to ask Jelani, how do you feel about the Native Americans constantly saying, please stop doing the chop? It's very offensive to us. In the MLB, Rob Manfred and the Braves fans are just like, I don't care. It's not offensive to us. You guys are so overreactive to every single thing, and you guys are so sensitive. How do you feel about that entire exchange that's been going on forever now?
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I'm a Braves fan, but I would say probably in like the last couple of years, I don't like. I was down at the Battery for a couple of the NLCS games. I definitely don't do the chop no more, just because I feel. Have you ever really just said it, like just say that chant out loud, like with no music playing, not at a game, and just see how stupid you sound, like see how racist, how crazy you sound. Just say it out loud in your own personal time, like make that noise. You're mimicking like a Native American chant. Like it is kind of, when you think about it, like that's almost like the equivalent of like when people make like the Asian jokes back in the day, when they would be like, you can't say this now, but when it would be like a ching chong or something like that. Like it's not that much different, bro. It's kind of the same.
People used to be like,
yeah, you used to be able to make jokes like that at one point on like TV and just normal everyday life. It's not that much different than that. So yeah, it is a little bit, especially at a predominantly white stadium. Like,
yeah.
And the people who defend it the most are who? Who's defending it the most on the Twitter?
To quote Soulja Boy, them crackers. That is that's who's defending it.
I ain't gonna lie, I like the chop though. I ain't gonna hold you. Like I'm just I ain't gonna lie, like when we be up in there, like it be lit.
Like racism aside, it is like to have like a fire, like cool, like fan activity. Yeah, it's dope, but
it gets you hyped, and it's something, you know, kind of unique to the entire Braves experience. But like Jelani said, like I remember as a kid, you know, the first Braves game I went to, I was probably like 4th grade, probably like 10 or something like that, against the Nationals, and it was like a big divisional game. And you know, I was doing it back then, and I loved it, and I was doing it as a kid. But like around the time of college, when I like found out, I was like, okay, they're offended by this. I probably shouldn't do it. And I think one time I like didn't do the chant, but I like still did the chop, just because like when everybody's doing it, the energy kind of picks you up. But like now, especially in the past couple of years, especially when it happened in 19 with the whole St. Louis Cardinals series, and you know, the pitcher was like, it's offensive. And then the Cherokee tribal, you know, chief came out and said it's offensive and did an entire thing with CNN. And then the fact that Rob Manfred came out and was like, it's not offensive. And then another chief came out this week and said, yes, it's extremely offensive and it's inappropriate, and you guys keep doing this. And then they go out and do it anyway. I don't get it. Like, there's no other, like, kind of racial thing, like, in 2021 that hasn't just been wiped off the face of the earth. Like, they've taken down statues. Like, the flag is going away as official state flags in Mississippi. And, like, but this thing is just something that you cannot take away from them for some reason.
Because their voices are big enough.
Yeah, that's a fact.
You know, it's just like, you know, they're still living on reservations. And it's like if we can't even get them out of reservations, you know, I don't think they ain't gonna care about, you know, removing like these things that in their mind is, you know, like is, you know, racist, you know? So I think with time, hopefully, you know, it'll allow it. And then, you know, hopefully the Braves can find something else. But, you know, at least we're not the Redskins. That was crazy.
They were like, change the name to like the Hammers or something like that, like the Atlanta Hammers, like the Hammer and Hammers or something like that. And then change
what we're going to do.
Change the chop to like a hammer, you know, in honor of.
But you still gonna have people that's gonna
Hammer
do
and Hank Aaron. Oh yeah, for sure.
It's not even the chopping motion. Well, the chopping motion along with the chant is just crazy. Like
it is. It's like it's crazy. But you know, like someone was like, well, what if the Vikings? Those were people, and I'm like, okay, bro. Like, all right.
No.
Native Americans still exist. Like, so, like, that's McEachern is like fake images. They're like mad disrespectful. I always thought that. Like, they had the big old thing
up there.
Yeah, right in the end zone. And then they do the same thing in the chant. Like, yo, McEachern. Like, it's crazy how like Jaylen Brown did that entire thing of calling out Wheeler to change the name of the school because whoever Wheeler was named after was mad racist. But no famous person from McEachern said anything about McEachern's entire existence. But yeah, you got to get out of here, guys. It's 10:45. So
real quick, I have a question. Yeah. So like, I'm noticing, like, I saw this during the World Series. Like when they got big hits, like the players are like you know, doing that. Is that supposed to be the chop, or that supposed to insinuate something else?
I don't even know.
Every year they do something different or whatever to get the team hyped. Like last year, it's a mix it up thing. But like a big proponent, a big guy of that's another reason why it's crazy the Braves made the World Series. Was the wife beater. I forgot his name.
Marcell Ozuna.
Yeah, Marcell Ozuna. There's the wife beater's name, but
yeah.
You know, allegedly, let me be respectful. The alleged wife beater. But yeah, man, he was a big part of that. So they changed it up this year, and you know, they always do some, you know, to do to the little dugout and stuff to get the guys hyped. Yeah. But yeah, is that it? Is that it?
Oh yeah, we good. Unless you have anything else you want to get off.
Mo's eyes are wondering, so I was wondering about Mo.
Oh nah, yeah, I think that's about it, man. You know,
Lotto snapped in her freestyle. I think she's moved up. She's definitely moved up in the Atlanta conversation and the female rapper conversation. Big Sean snapped in his freestyle with LA Leakers last week. And I like the new single, but I only listened to it once. So, you know, RashadMillan.com. You can follow me on Twitter at Great Higher Dream. Do something with Kennedy Carter.
Oh, yeah, you can follow me. My fault, bro.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
You follow me on Twitter, _Jelani, 2 underscores at the end.
What's up? Y'all can find me on Instagram, RBMo__. Find me on Twitter at free. Never mind. I was gonna come up with stuff. I was like, never mind. All right, but yeah, find me on Twitter at RBMo__ as well. On all platforms. We have some new music dropping soon. So yeah, check me out. Mo knows. Yeah, man. You know, another great pod. Another day, another pod.
Y'all be easy.